What's up, YouTube? So for a while, I've been working behind the scenes on a new project that I think is really cool and kind of revolutionary, and I would love to kind of give you a sneak preview of it here. So, like everything these days, this project is about AI. I'm sure you've seen how AI is kind of taking the world by storm lately. There's tools like chatgpt that can do mind-blowing things like ace the bar exam or write code better than any human in 1% of the time. And then there's image generators like Midjourney that went from looking like this a year ago to this today. And we can only imagine where things will be in a year from now. But for me personally, with my particular experience, partly as a software developer, but also someone who started a food blog called One Ingredient Chef, something like 10 years ago, where I've developed, I think, over 350 recipes. One of the first things I thought about with AI was cooking. And I realized that if we could get these generative AI tools to create recipes, that would really change the world of recipe generation and cooking forever. And after a lot of experimentation, it turns out that with some clever prompting and some magic on the back end, these tools can create recipes. In fact, they can create incredibly good recipes. So for the last few months, I've been building a web app where you can enter a recipe idea, a list of ingredients, whatever you can imagine, dietary restrictions, and it will literally generate a fully functional recipe in seconds from scratch, kind of like magic. And those can then be saved and shared through this platform, which I think will become one of the world's largest collection of recipes. Okay, so let me actually give you a quick demo of how this works. The website is called DishGen because it generates dishes from scratch. So right here on the home page, all you have to do is type in your recipe idea into the input box. And if you don't know what to search for, there's a lot of suggestions that rotate down here, like a high-protein breakfast smoothie with antioxidants, an Italian-inspired salad with Parmesan cheese and chickpeas, whatever it might be. But for this one, let's try something like a healthy yet indulgent chocolate dessert with avocado, plant-based, unprocessed, and sweetened only with dates. I click generate and wait somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds. And there we have it. It's a 100% AI generated recipe. You can see the ingredients, the steps, the servings, but it also has a creative title and a description, which is a rich, creamy, and indulgent dessert made with nutrient-dense avocado, cocoa powder, and sweetened only with dates. This plant-based, unprocessed recipe will satisfy your taste buds while nourishing your body. That literally was made by a machine right now. And the recipe has 2 avocados, half a cup of cocoa powder, half a cup of pitted dates, vanilla, almond milk, and sea salt. Honestly, as a recipe creator, this looks amazing, and I'm actually going to save it. I'm logged in and I can save recipes, so I'm going to save this and try it later, and I'll let you know how it goes. So isn't that amazing? It really is as simple as that. You just type in what you're imagining, and it will give you a recipe for exactly that. And you can actually go to dishgen.com right now to try it out. And if you want to be like a power user or whatever, I can give you a few tips to help you get the best results out of this tool. The first one is to be specific. I've watched a lot of early users try this out, and I noticed that sometimes people will just type in curry or kale. And this isn't quite the same as a search engine, so you need to be specific and tell it exactly what you want. Like in our example above, we wanted a chocolate dessert that's healthy and has avocado and is sweetened with dates and all of that. So the more detail you give it, the more likely it is you'll get a recipe that fits your vision. And I like to think of it like having a personal chef, and they'll make you anything you want, but if you just say potatoes, well, what are they going to do? So if you're more specific, you'll get something better. The second thing is to include ingredients that you want the recipe to contain. So you can search for multiple ingredients in one recipe by just separating each one by a comma, and you can use this to find creative recipes for the ingredients you already have in your kitchen, which can help you reduce waste. Rather than throwing things away, you can use up what's about to go bad. The next thing is to ask for constraints. So you can include things like with less than 10 ingredients, or vegan friendly or for picky eaters, and whatever it is you're looking for, it'll give you more specific results. Finally, I've had a lot of fun mashing up different cultures and ideas. You can get crazy results with things like something that is Italian inspired but includes Hawaiian ingredients, and it'll give you really creative ideas. There's also an advanced search page on the app that will guide you through this process if you want to get even more specific results. One thing that I think is really important about DishGen is that it's not just about generating fleeting recipes that kind of disappear once you're done with them. The platform is actually built to save and to catalog recipes in a way that makes it easy for users to kind of bookmark and search and discover all the best recipes that users are creating. And what will be critical over time is having users who are not only generating recipes, but who make them and then who report back to give them a rating or to leave a comment and definitely to upload a photo, so that over time the cream can rise to the top, so to speak, and we'll have this open collection of virtually every imaginable recipe. And that's why, actually I think I forgot to mention that DishGen is free. It's free for everyone. It's a free service, although you do need to create a free account in order to get a larger monthly search quota. I think you only get like 2 or 3 if you're just a guest, but you get something like 30 or more every month once you create an account. And by having an account, it'll also save all of your searches so you can go back later and see what you were looking at. And I'm also working on a program to launch very soon where you can earn quota increases by helping the community with ratings and commenting and uploading photos of recipes you've made. Because again, since it's user-created content, what will make this work is if a large percentage of users are also reporting back to help curate that content. So we saw the recipe generation process, but I can also give you a quick demo of what the rest of the platform looks like in terms of how the recipes are cataloged and how you can rate them and all of that. So the first thing you can do is log in with Google or with your email address. And again, this is really important because if you're just a visitor, you might get like 1 or 2 searches a month, but if you have an account, you'll get something like 30 or more, and you can save your searches. So once you are logged in, it'll take you to your account page like this. And the first thing to note is that your recipe history will show up here. So earlier we looked for that avocado chocolate dessert, and here it is in our history, so that we can always go back and see what we created. Recipes that are not saved by you or by somebody else will eventually get deleted, but for now it'll last for at least several weeks so that you have time to save the ones that you really want to keep. And when you click the bookmark icon to save a recipe, whether it's one of yours or somebody else's, that'll show up permanently in your saved recipes folder. And all the recipes that have been saved by anyone should remain on the platform indefinitely. And if we go to one, for example, these cookies, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, you can see that the entire page here gives you all of that same information, whether it's the description, the ingredients, all of the steps. It even auto-generates tags with the AI so that it can be easily sorted and searched later on. In addition, there's a rating feature, and like we talked about, it's really important that users who make recipes actually rate them and give them feedback. So for example, I made these and they were incredible. So I'm going to give them 5 stars and check the box that says that I made it, which lets other users know that it's a human verified recipe, that they know it actually works. In addition, you can leave comments and say things like, "These cookies were incredible." And this is really helpful to give other users more feedback and to help the best recipes ultimately rise to the top. You can also upload photos, and I'm going to do that because I made these and I have a photo of them. You can crop it and fit it into the right frame. So there we go. Now this recipe has a lot more data. It's got a photo, it has a rating, it confirms that someone made it, it has a comment. So if you do use the platform and you make a recipe, feel free to come back and give some feedback, rate the recipe, do whatever you can to help other users know whether it's a good recipe or not. And one little feature that I personally love checking out is the stream. This just gives you a real-time view of everything that everybody who's using the platform is searching for. So you can see like 1 minute ago, somebody was looking for a quick and easy stir fry. We can check out that recipe, to see what it's all about. So like I said, I think I made 350 recipes or so over maybe 7 years of developing recipes. In the last 24 hours on DishGen, there have been over 350 recipes made. And I haven't even really launched it until right now. So it's really remarkable. But now one thing that we haven't talked about, and this is kind of an important detail, is are the recipes actually any good? Like, do they work? And to answer that, I have a little story that happened a few days ago. I was looking for a vegan cookie recipe. I don't make a lot of desserts. I don't really have a good cookie recipe, but I wanted something that was like a crispy cookie, almost like a sugar cookie. So I asked DishGen for a vegan cookie that is crispy and has no processed sugar. And it came back with this. It was so simple if you look at the ingredient list, and it was also gluten-free, even though I didn't ask for that. But I already had all the ingredients, so I literally got up on the spot and made this recipe. I just blindly followed the advice of my robot overlord, and it took me like 8 minutes. I mixed up the batter, got them in the oven, and I'm not joking, these were the best cookies I've ever made. Everything was perfect. It nailed the quantities of the ingredients. The batter had just the right consistency. It had just the right amount of baking powder for a tiny rise, and they came out crispy on the outside and just a little bit soft and melty on the inside. And it even nailed the number of servings. It said it would make 16, and I ended up making 15. It was just stunning. So for me as a food blogger, this was kind of a surreal moment. I consider myself to be pretty good at creating new recipes. I've done it hundreds of times. And I almost had goosebumps eating these cookies because it was something that would have taken me who knows how long to come up with. I might never have thought along the lines of using almond flour with almond butter and maple syrup. And it just worked so well. And the machine made it in a matter of seconds. And it's just a whole new world. It's a crazy time to be alive. And I think this tool is the first of its kind in a new generation of AI-powered cooking tools. Like with DishGen, you can not only generate recipes, but save and share and connect with others in a way that will make the platform stronger and deeper over time. And I think it will literally revolutionize the way people figure out what to cook. You don't need to wait for a food blogger to post something new and inspiring. You don't have to buy a cookbook. You can just have your own personal AI assistant create it for you on the spot. And I hope it will make cooking faster, easier, and healthier for all of us, but I also think it can dramatically reduce food waste because you can enter the ingredients you already have and it'll come up with something creative and interesting and delicious using exactly those ingredients. So yeah, go ahead and explore DishGen. Again, it's a free tool, and I'd love to hear what you're coming up with. So paste your recipes in the comments of this video, share them on social media with the DishGen hashtag. And if you find the video useful, definitely give it a like. That will help more people find it with the YouTube algorithm. And please subscribe if you're interested in this kind of stuff. I'm working on a lot of content from my world in that space between art and technology. So I'd love to have you along for the ride. But otherwise, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching.